here we go. Hello everybody and welcome back to another OS Talk. My name is Z-Trot, going solo today. I'm talking with the OS Idol team about the OS Idol contest and letting everyone know that open submissions are till September 8th. So definitely get out there if you have not yet, and if you have no idea what OS Idol is, hopefully by the end of today's interview, you guys will have a little bit of an idea. So we're joined with most of the OS Idol team. We are missing a couple of the judges. It's okay though, you know, real life gets in the way sometimes, but I'm going to go ahead and go down the line. First we have our host, which is Flanster. How you doing, man?
Excellent.
All right, and this is not Flanster's first time being around here. We've had him on a few other OS Talks. I think we've even had an Idol discussion with him before in the past years. So if you are new to this, you're definitely going to get a history lesson today. Also coming in, we have our first co-host for Flan, and this is the first time he's run it dual. And Kiyako Hazara is actually stepping up to the plate as co-host. How are you doing today?
I miss Deadbeat.
I miss Deadbeat too. It's okay.
But other than that, I'd say today is an excellent day.
All right, and we are also joined with a couple of the judges. We have a second place winner of last year's OS Idol competition, Captain Hampton, with us today. How you doing, man?
Hello there. I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Oh, no.
I do not approve, but
We're gonna get copyrighted.
oh, for sure. And then we're also joined with Hikai. How you doing, Hikai?
Hello everyone, I'm good.
All right, so before we get into the questions and everything, would you guys say that the OS Idol competition has been going smoothly in these past years? Are you happy with the improvements that have been happening every time?
Oh, of course, because every year I have to improve everything, because the only thing we can do is just keep moving forward.
Forward,
Like
always forward.
Every year
Yeah,
we work
yeah.
on improving the roles, and Flan gets less and less lenient with people.
Especially the rules.
Always adding more roles and less lenience.
All right, so we'll get to our first group question, guys, and take this how you will. With OS Idol being well into some years of being a stable contest, it's nothing like when it first started. And when I mean nothing like when it first started, I mean absolutely nothing.
The
Because
first year when you guys did it, it was a disaster. From what you were showing me, I'm like,
yeah, it
why
was.
would you do group judging? Because then people are just gonna sway other people's opinions way too much.
We
Yeah.
actually did that. We actually did that on TeamSpeak, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys did it. on
Everybody just kept putting the same grades.
Yeah, I
That's
noticed
terrible.
that. And like the only person who had any difference was Justin, because I remember wasn't he really sick and wasn't in the group the whole time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't
Anyway,
join in until
everybody's
later.
scores were the same except for Z-Trod, and I remember I told him, I'm like, this is a disaster.
Well, there's got to be some type of polarization. I mean, like, I feel like some of the years.
People sway other people's opinions way too easily when you're trying to voice call with six judges.
Yeah, but at least it wasn't as bad as, like, take into consideration when we very first did this. It was a forum game. It wasn't even a contest. It was just,
Wasn't it not even in the music thread? Wasn't
Yeah.
it in forum games?
Off topic.
yeah, off topic. The music thread didn't even exist yet. That's how far back this goes.
No, I thought the music thread existed.
No.
No.
It didn't exist
Not at all.
yet?
No, not at all. It did not
I
even
forget-
exist.
Okay, I forget that the music thread hasn't been here for the past, 8 years.
Yeah, and that being said, what are some of the things that you'd like to see improved as we go forward? We'll start off with Flanster, then we'll go down the list, and you guys go ahead and just give a little bit of an insight on what you'd like to see improved.
Yeah, one of the most important things I would improve is the stages, like in terms of variety, like genres, twists to them, but the ideas just aren't there yet. I'm always open to suggestions, but there are some ideas that aren't exactly that good. For example, singing in your own native language, because some people wouldn't like that. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
that's something that we've talked about before, but trying to check that would just be way too hard.
Yeah, and the other one is I think it was English songs or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
but
pretty sure
but what
it
if
was,
people
I
don't?
think
But what
we
if
said
people?
no Japanese music? Or that was what I said for it.
There's people would
Just
lynch me if
no
I did
Yankee
that.
Music. Yeah, we'd be dead by now.
Well,
Oh man.
one thing I've always thought about is what about at like a stage where people have to get paired up? I feel like it'd have to be an earlier stage because you could like literally lose quite a few people because people can't work well together.
Oh yeah, they definitely can't. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I think people have thrown that idea around back when we had the suggestions channel, and we're
Yeah.
just like, no, that's way too hard.
Or
Like the suggestion channels we had was.
There was like 2 suggestions, and then just a bunch of people talking. We're like,
what about like
not even suggestions channel.
what about something like a song choice raffle, for
A
example?
what?
Like, okay, say for example, you make it through to stage 2, and stage 3 is a song choice raffle. So everybody that's made it in, you pick a theme. The judges, obviously, all need to decide on a theme, and then like from songs from that said theme, you have a randomizer, and then each person gets a song that is not of their choice, but randomly generated for them to choose. Like, what are they going to use? What's going to be the one that they get? And they have to build their whole performance around that. Would that be something?
Now that would be a matter of having that many different songs. I mean, maybe for a later stage when there's not that many contestants.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to sit down. I don't think Flan's trying to sit down either and grab like 50 different songs for us to use.
Oh no! You mean predefined songs? No, that's a terrible idea.
Well, no, not predefined songs. Predefined genres that randomize the song. Like, say for example, you get a master list of all kinds of rock stuff, and in that master list of rock stuff, you can go as far as like death metal, and all the way to like something like Blink 182. And
I do not think trying to
No
subgenres
screamos.
in genres
I'm just
is kind
spitballing, guys. I'm just
No
spitballing.
screamos.
Okay,
I think a good,
everybody needs to sing a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas song.
What's up, Hampton?
I think a good compromise with that would be like almost if we did like a map pool, but with songs where.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
But instead of being like randomized and pre-selected, it's like, okay, here's maybe for a round of 10, here's 20 songs to pick from. Everybody pick one of the songs, but like do the one you want, but still pick from one of these songs so we can see what you can do with it.
So it gives more freedomized
seems
choice.
That seems a lot more probable than a raffle would for actually being a stage.
Yeah, it gives predefined choice, but still kind of limits their spectrum on what they can sing. So I feel like that would be like, because I mean we do have some really talented people that come and work on this, and I mean one of the questions later will kind of go into the talent on these people, but I feel like the people that really want to see a victory or really put their heart into it, they're not gonna waver on stuff like this. So in a sense, yeah, it might cut out some of the more I'm doing this for fun, I'm doing this for just the lulz kind of crowd, but from what I've gathered as it's continued to go on in the years, that looks like what you're kind of aiming towards. You want to get the people that are really decent. You want it to be a really nice competition. I know for a long time, we've been talking about like, hey man, maybe if one of these number ones does really good, we can get them to like do an original OS song or something and have it as a featured artist. Yeah, and that would be something that's neat, but yet again, it's kind of a long way down the road. Now, we kind of talked to you, and Kianko kind of chimed in as well, but Captain Hampton and Hikai, what do you two think about improvements? What could be done to improve the OS Idol competition? And we'll start with Captain Hampton, and then Hikai will follow at the end.
Yeah, I think more interesting stages would definitely be something that would be more fun, both as a competitor, spectator, judge, all those things. I think it could be interesting to try next year or later down the road, do auditions are a cappella, just voice only, no instrumentals allowed, almost like an American Idol or Idol style show where you just come in, sing only voice, and then later rounds would use instrumentals. But I think it would be cool judging wise to hear people's voice only before we can pass them to the next round.
Ooh.
That is actually
I
a
know,
good
right?
idea.
Yeah,
That's a
got it,
good
yes.
idea.
Come on,
seems
guys.
interesting.
Like we were thinking it as a separate stage, but that doesn't
Yeah.
matter because some people might actually submit a cappellas on other stages, so it's basically the same free for all.
Right,
But
and
for
I think it
auditions,
would be easier. I think it would be easier for auditions because then judges get a clear view of okay, this is what their voice, this is what we want to give them for that voice only.
Yeah,
That's
instead of
that's-
them
that's a
being
really
able to
good
choose
idea.
like music that works with their voice. Man, you guys are just trying to oust me out of the contest right away.
you still have chances.
These chances are slowly fleeting.
Come on.
What about you, Hikai? What kind of improvements would you like to see to the contest?
I'm not sure whether this is considered as a improvement, but adding a stage where for the contestant to sing a different language other than their own native language is going to be fun, or maybe a new experience for them to do. Maybe.
Well, it is possible, but my question is would you dock for mispronunciation? Because if it's not their native language, there's a good chance that lost in translation wise that they're not going to pronounce some stuff properly. And
Nah, I think that would be fine.
yeah, I don't think the pronunciation should be hit as hard as the key that they're singing in. Like, as long as they're on key and everything's proper, even if they're saying the wrong word, I wouldn't hold them. Like, especially if, say, for example, Hampton probably can do it, no problem. But say, for example, he had to sing like just your random anime opening, and he hadn't done it in a long time. He sticks to English. And he gets in there, and instead of saying Hikari for light, he says like Hikari or something.
Sing me something in a Swahili.
Ooh.
Yeah. I did actually for my, I guess, when we started this contest like proper, I think it was 2013 or 2014. When we actually started, like, my audition was actually Japanese and my pronunciation was terrible.
Well,
And I
it's
was like,
good to
nope,
see that-
nope, never doing that again.
Well, it's good to see that nobody really held you accountable for just pronunciation, though, and that's kind of good.
I think one of the judges pointed it out, but they're like,
If it was within the past 3 years, it may have been me.
Oh, it was probably you.
there's definitely a chance.
She's our resident Simon Cowell.
Somebody has to be.
But yeah, we're judging voice. We're judging your vocal skills, not your pronunciation or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
Speaking
the
of,
right notes.
oh yeah, we can write notes. That's one of the things I've
That's
really
not what I was
liked.
talking about.
Yeah.
You completely misunderstood. I said it was. I can't talk. I was going to say it more. Can you hit the right notes?
Yes.
Not. Did you use a short E or a slightly shorter E?
Ah. Okay. Well, I understand that. So, speaking of judging and stuff, we can segue on to our next question quite easily. Judging has always been something our community in the whole seems to struggle on, getting done on time. And I've noticed with the Idol, that's usually not as bad, but I really have to ask, I know 1 or 2 years I know how you did it, but what do you do to combat this? Like, how do you get the judges to make sure that everything's on time? Because these Idol contests have been going pretty smoothly. I don't usually see delays. So, Flanster, in a few words, how do you do that magic you do?
Give him a swift kick in the butt.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he does.
I mean, of course, anybody would do the same. I mean, when you don't do things done on time. I think last year, yeah, we had one of the problems with the judge.
Last
So-
year we had.
Don't
Quite a
mention
few
names.
Stages were I'm not going to name names, but a couple stages were delayed.
Yeah,
because
it was.
of, not having the judges around.
It could have been my fault. I'm not 100%
No, it's not.
sure.
No, it's not
No.
you.
Okay,
it's not
cool.
you.
I'm off
If
the
it was
hook.
you, I'd be name calling you right now.
Of
I'd be
course.
like, Z-Trot decided he just didn't want to judge. Didn't tell us.
I would
He said
always
he'd do
tell
it,
you.
and then never came.
I would always
Never
tell you.
came through for us.
I'd never just leave you hanging. I've
mean,
cut it
Dor-
close. Do not get me wrong. I've definitely cut it close.
Garvin doesn't always finish. Also, shout out to our judge that's not here. Shout out to my boy Garvin. But sometimes he doesn't get things done until like an hour before results get up. But hey, it's before results are supposed to go up.
Hashtag waiting for Garvin.
Gotta drop the hashtag somewhere.
Hashtag he's still a good guy.
Yes, and
He is.
definitely. Like Garvin's been here through thick and thin, super old. It's glad to see that he is still taking part in the community in some facet, one way or another.
Yeah, I'm actually glad he's in.
I'm surprised he came back this year. I was like, oh, there he is.
I knew he would come.
So you really haven't had too many problems. It looks like you've had a steady source of judges to keep things going smooth, and we do have some new blood in the judges panel this year, and I'm very excited to see that we have some people that really took the competition seriously in the last couple of years. Hampton, that is, taking part in helping with judging, and that is really nice because, we've had some other people that were really high up there that did not make return appearances or waited a year to return, but it's really good to see that there is a community that's built around there and that it has been flourishing for as much as it can, as it being like a small contest. And we do have some official support, not as good as we'd like, but, what can you do?
Yeah, well, it's smooth because when I'm looking for judges, the first thing I actually ask is not how competent you are on X or Y, or I asked, are you active? Are you gonna be like?
Do you actually want to do this?
No, more like.
Yeah, I remember.
More
I
like.
remember Flans asking me whether I'm free during the time when also either started and when it will end. Am I going to be free all that time?
Yeah. So he gave you a good idea of when the tournament, contest was starting and when it would be ending.
Yeah, it's pretty much an estimate, but somewhat from experience for past years because it can go longer because of delays in judging. but yeah, I'm just looking for reliable people that are here and they can get the job done. Not like this stage. This guy's going on a trip to another country. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of that though, so is judging something you're openly looking for every contest? Like, say for example, someone who's not really, they're active in the community, but they're a little bit too embarrassed or nervous to try to sing in front of people. Do you always have an open ear for judges, like looking towards the next year? If you run the contest, will you have open call for judges, or do you like to keep it in-house more?
Well, it's kind of in-house, I'd say, but virtually it could be anybody because it's community-based. Like, anybody can come here and just judge as long as you're not tone deaf and you can pretty much put a note fucking graded for 1 in 10. It's that easy. But I'm usually looking for someone who's either in the server or has somewhat an idea of what Aus Idol is, or even better, if they actually took part before in the contest.
Yeah, so that being said, like if people wanted access to the server to kind of talk with the Aus Idol community and look at things like this, that's open as well, correct? You do have links out for that?
The servers,
Yeah.
There's a link to the Discord in the forum post, I think.
All right,
Yeah,
cool,
there
cool.
is.
All right, that being said, let's kind of move on to some of the contestants here, guys. Now, I've noticed, and I went ahead and did a little bit of research before doing this. I know, shocking. But some of the contestants that have took part in years prior have channels in SoundCloud made for full-on covers. And it's really impressive, some of them. Do you think this contest has helped promote things like this? Or do you think they were just doing this beforehand? Has anyone really set up a channel due to the fact of Aus Idol?
I think for a couple people it's helped with exposure, but I don't think anybody's specifically set up a channel or a SoundCloud because of Idol.
Like we know we're not following everybody around, so
Yeah.
but it'd be pretty nice if Idol inspired you to sing.
Oh, for sure.
But you're definitely getting some free advertising from this because once judging finishes, the main document is viewable for the entire community, so everybody's going to hear you.
Yep.
I mean, I also think it's a really good chance for cross promotion because if someone has channel that they regularly do covers on, and they join OS Idol, maybe they'll upload one of their OS Idol things, and people who follow them who aren't associated with OS will see, oh, what is this OS Idol thing? They'll click over, they'll get integrated into the game, into the community, into the contest, and it's just a chance for not only people in OS to hear them, but people who listen to them to find out about OS.
Yeah, and you know, that is exactly how I kind of, when I was doing research on the channels, I saw a couple of them, and a lot of the contestants that do them, they make it very clear that this is, all right, this cover is for OS Idol. And then, like you said, you'll have people down at the bottom, people that follow their SoundCloud and things like that, go down there and be like, what is an OS Idol? And then usually links are posted, and people get to know, and then they get a chance. I feel like in years prior, that's how we got some of our contestants to come in there before we had the activity thing, which isn't really a big hurdle, I don't think, either, because the activity isn't asking for a whole lot. It just asks that you're, you know, actively taking part in the community, posting in the forums, logging in, you know, being somewhat involved with the game.
It's hosted by the community for the community, so we want people who are involved in the community, because it kind of suck if somebody wins and then they just completely leave.
Yeah, that's not cool. Good thing I worded the rule, because the first iteration of the rule said you must be a part of the OS community and relatively active. That's kind of so I changed it to must be part of the OS community and not too inactive. And that makes a bit more sense, does it?
Yeah,
I
a little
think
bit.
so.
I mean, there's no cutoff. So, like, say for example, if someone did, like, obviously if they joined today and submitted something, it wouldn't really work out. But say they had been here for a month. Yeah, but say they had been here for a month before the contest started, and they were posting and doing stuff every day, and then they decided, hey, I want to take part. That's relative activity, and I think that would be okay. Yeah.
1 month, it's kind of shorting it out a bit.
Well,
We
yeah,
have
The
one.
thing is, I was gonna say we have a contestant that's only been registered for a couple months, but they're super active with playing.
Yeah.
So
and-
obviously they're not here just for Idol.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, those are kind of things that you can look over pretty easily, and check with. That way, you know, you're not just getting someone like our boy Matt last year, who submitted and never came back. I'm sad.
He forgot. He was busy with work.
It's okay though.
I told him, and he's like, "Oh, there was a deadline."
Of course, there's deadlines. That being said, though, yeah, I think cross promotion is something that's really cool. And as these things go forward and further, I know that me and Flan have talked about it beforehand, because I used to help with the Idol contests a little bit. We had talked about possibly doing a streaming of the top 10. I think that's going to be something that is reality. I don't know if it's going to be for this OS Idol yet, so I don't want to go ahead and say it right away, but if it is, I'm almost positive your host and your co-host will be talking all about it. So you'll definitely see coming if it does happen.
We'll have to see what the future stages hold and what we can get set up for it.
Exactly. Speaking of that, Kianko, it is your question time. This one's all for you.
Ooh, spicy.
Yes, seeing as this is your first year as a co-host, if you don't mind us asking, how exactly did that come about, and how are you doing as a co-host? Does it just seem like a natural transition, or, like, let us pick your brain for a second?
Alright, so the first year, I was not a judge because that was you, Z-Trot, who handpicked all your judges. But the year after that, once you transferred host over to Flan, I think it was Flan that asked me if I wanted to do judging. And
Oh, yeah.
for
I was looking-
for the second
I was-
host idol.
Damn it.
Go on.
Yeah, I was looking for female judges.
Flan needed a cute girl.
Yeah, I did. It's always female singers and male judges.
That's what it seems to me. But I judged for the second year, and then the third year, but I felt like I kind of naturally transitioned over into being the co-host after last year, because also I'm very efficient with my judging, and I make sure that everything gets done. I have great decimals. I'll give myself a 0.1 extra point for my great decimals. And in general, I try to add comments to everybody's entry, especially in later stages. I'll listen to some entries even like 3 or 4 times, and I'll put time markers. But I feel like because of my efficiency, especially with last year, I was kind of working a bit closer with Juan, that it was more of like a natural transition into me being the co-host. And he even asked me before Idol ended last year if I would like to be his co-host for this year.
All right, awesome. Well,
It was pretty much going to be a thing because of last year's scandal and all that.
Yeah,
Because
that's understandable.
I was doing this all by myself, and I like missed one profile or two, and it turned into something this big. I'm like, wow, sorry for making a human mistake here, dude.
Sorry for not being a robot.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm usually doing this in a robotic way because I'm clicking on profiles on the other monitor, checking dates, checking registrations, checking all that stuff. It's like systematic.
That's how it feels, because like, well, when we've had multiple entries, it's like copy name, paste name, history, mark box, check entry, does link work, add comment if necessary, next entry, repeat the process.
Oh man.
Yeah, and
But yeah.
going on to some lighter stuff, and these are my favorite, and this one's for everybody, so everybody can chime in their 2 cents. We get loads of silly submissions every year, and personally, I feel this is one of the best parts, but I know that to be not the case for some people. So my question to everyone here is, what are your thoughts on the silly submissions? Is it one of the best or worst parts in the contest?
Rest in peace, Peter Pan.
Yeah, too bad. I still have my remix up there somewhere, but not the original. But in terms of if it's the worst or the best, neither, to be honest. It's not really much out there. For me, at least. I'll let everybody else talk about it.
Millie's entry this year was pretty good.
My honest aim.
What about you, Captain Hampton? What do you think about the joke entries? Is that one of the things that you look forward to most, or is it something that you just kind of wait for it to get over with?
I mean, I like them if there's effort put into them. Like people singing meme songs or doing weird rapping or screamo or whatever. If it's obvious they're like putting effort into it, I love it so much. I'm all for it. But if someone's just like throwing something together going, haha, this will be funny, guys, then it's kind of, I give that a pass real quick.
Yeah, I can understand that.
We ask that you put in effort to your jokes.
That was pretty much 95% of this. It's not funny at all. What a surprise! We got a brain power entry. Holy balls! Like seriously.
But see, if someone did a brain power and it was like super awesome, I'd be like, hell yeah, brain power.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Like last year, I remember we had a screamo entry, and the guy was actually good at screaming.
But unfortunately, it's kind of hard to judge screamo.
Yeah, and we're not looking for that kind of idol.
I still love listening to that though. That's good.
Like imagine Love Live but only screamos.
Love
What?
Live, and every girl screams snow halation.
Oh God.
I'd like to see that though.
What about you, Hikai? Do you enjoy the joke submissions? Is it something you look forward to, or do you instantly, as soon as you hear someone going like, I'm a little teapot, do you just click off the link and you're like, I'm done?
Just like Cap Hampton said, everything must be, well, if you try hard on something, I hope they're doing everything at their best. If you're trying to make a joke, yeah, do your best joke so us as a judge can enjoy it at least.
Okay, so in theory, if I was to submit Uptown Funk and Mickey Mouse and actually put a lot of time into it, that would be
Wait.
acceptable.
Dude, really?
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
at
be
least for me.
awesome. I actually like that song.
Okay. Well, I
Like,
did like a cut of
Uptown, fuck you up.
Yeah.
Uptown, fuck you up.
it. Pretty much.
God.
I did a little bit of that one time, just being funny. I also did a screamo of City Escape, which was terrible.
Oh God.
Yeah, but
Ugh.
I mean, joke submissions, they definitely have their place, and there's been a couple that are just absolutely delights, and then there's also been the ones where it's just like, you tried, and you just kind of move it on, and it's like, oh man. I do enjoy those though. So getting back onto the streaming, so my main question here, and I know we've kind of answered this already in a little bit. That's me getting ahead of myself. We talked about streaming the finals for the last contest, but due to things not working out at all, it was unable to be done. And this year, like, your main goal, I guess I could twist it a little bit. Do you want streaming to happen for the finals at the end of this year?
I'd say yes, please.
I would love for us to be able to at least have the final three be able to be streamed.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
What about you, Hampton?
Oh, I would love it. Ideally, I think it would be awesome. Realistically, I'm a little more hesitant about how it'll work out. So if it works, then great. But I'm being a realist. It's sort of understandable that there's a whole bunch of technical stuff that can go wrong with it. So
not only that, you also have to worry about copyright and stuff like that, and there's a lot of tape that you have to jump around. One of the suggestions I was talking to with the big boss man was possibly, you know, like if they've really got the stuff, if they've really got it, writing and recording an original song that could be posted. But I feel like
That's far-fetched.
Yeah, it is far-fetched. It's very far-fetched because a lot of these people are either going off covers. Like, have we ever had original songs used in Idol?
No.
So no one's brought an original composition of music?
I think there's been a couple people that have played the piano to songs, but never in original composition. At least I don't think so.
Yeah, I've heard people playing piano. I think I've heard a couple people playing guitar, but as far as I know, they weren't originals.
No, I don't think they were.
Okay, well, I mean, it's definitely something we could look into, and I hope we get a chance to moving forward. But we can actually segue into the next question here. With the featured artist craze going around, and it is definitely going around, do you ever think it's going to be possible for one of the singers in the contest to go as far as recording a track just for us? And this is to anybody who wants to answer it. It's totally okay.
Yes.
No.
I think...
I don't
think,
see it happening.
See, I don't know if they would... I don't think we could get No Idol winner to be a featured artist, but what I'm seeing a lot with the featured artists is that most of them are producers that don't have any vocals on their tracks. So I think what could be cool is to have a producer and a No Idol winner collaborate, have a featured artist produce the track, and get the winner to sing on that track.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm
right
seeing
now,
that happening.
Sysmix, no,
single.
like, here's the thing. I feel like Sysmix would be super down for something like that. The same with Neko
Oh,
Dex.
totally.
They'd love that idea. Like, I'm not sure if time constraint would allow them to do it, but I can definitely...
that's what I was feeling with it, is time, but also it'd be a matter of getting the Idol winner to want to be able to do something like that, to want to work with the featured artists.
Well, the
But
thing I see is like...
I feel like it's more of a time thing to be able to get that to work. I'd love to see it, but time.
Yeah, but yes and no, because like the time is something you do have to worry about, but you also have to remember that these producers, they're good at what they do. They know how to use audio programs and whatnot. And most of the OS Idol like tops, like the people that really get up there, they're not complete strangers to like audio processing and editing and stuff like that, you know? I'm not saying that they use them, but just think about when we in prior years when we unlock those restrictions at the end and people are able to go as ham as they possibly can with audio editing and everything to show what they can do. Some of the submissions we have there, like, they show that they have that basic skill, and all the producer would need is the stems of their tracks. Like, the producer could send them a track that they want to do vocals over, can even give them vocals to sing if they can't think of anything. But then what can happen there is they send back the stems, which is just a recorded audio of themselves, and the producer can do just about anything they want with it. And the levels of how much a voice can be used are really variable. Like, say for example, someone's doing like a dubstep song or something, they might only need a few vocal samples to do something like that and produce something that's really neat. It just really depends on in between, but I don't think time is as big as a constraint as you might believe, due to the fact that once that stem's recorded, he's got it, it's not going anywhere. And
it's
things
more of a
could be
matter
changed.
that it seems like some of the higher placing contestants have their own stuff they work on, which is why I was saying it might be more of a time thing for them because they have their own independent work.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you there, but it's definitely cool to speculate about.
So for them, the independent work might be more of their priority, but that kind of depends on the person, depends on how much they do.
What do you think about it, Hikai? Do you think you could see one of the singers in the OS Idol contest getting a track made just for OS?
Well, I think so. As you said before, if the featured artist from past before, I mean, like, they collab with a singer.
Yeah.
I mean, with the winner, that would be cool.
It would be absolutely fantastic. I know that there's a lot of, like, and yet again, there becomes some tape, you know, like, even if you do get that done and everything, like, it depends on what the creators want to do. If they're cool doing it just for the sake of it being an us, that's great, but, you know, I know sometimes it doesn't work like that, and it could get messy. It can very easily get messy, but usually when it comes to collaboration and people coming together to make something cool for this game, that's one of the places where this community does shine, and I will give it credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I will say, of course I can't speak for the people who are currently featured artists, but of the producers that I personally know, a lot of them probably have a big old folder on their computer just called Need Vocals, where they have a track already completed and they're like, track. So hopefully it wouldn't be too hard to find one of the featured artists to listen to an OS Idol winner and be like, you know what, I think that's the voice I need, and just get them hooked up together on that one.
Exactly. That would be really awesome. I'd love to see that happening at some point. And it's great to speculate on it. But that being said, I think we can pull into our last question. And then if you guys have any like little banter stuff you want to talk about before, or anything you'd like to plug, definitely do it then. But my question, and this is for everyone, what are some of your favorites that you hope to see back this year? Mine are unfortunately probably. Yo, don't steal my stuff.
Charlo.
Didn't she say last year she probably wouldn't be coming back?
Yeah.
No, she was just busy. She was just busy, but still, I'd love to see her back again.
I might pronounce it wrong. Yelena?
Yeah, Yelena.
She was the first place for the first OS Idol, I think.
What about you, Hampton? Is there anyone you're really excited to see back this year for some performances?
I mean, obviously the people that everyone's mentioned, Daiki, who got in the finals. I'm always good to hear a guy get into the finals. I'm a little bit biased on that.
Back as well.
Yeah. Also someone who competed last year. I know he's already actually admitted, so I know he's taking part, but ADJ.
I was gonna say him too.
When I listened, because I wasn't even a judge last year, I listened to his registration submission and messaged him on OS. I'm like, dude, I love your voice. So I'm glad to see him back this year.
Gotta get the boys some recognition.
I know, gotta get those male vocals.
We seem to be, we're short of Boyd this year, but strong strong with you.
You're getting an extra boy in replacement. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do as good as everybody else. I don't think I'm finals material by any means.
You'd have to make second place to be able to properly replace Captain Hampton.
I know, yeah. We've had the past 2 years. It was me second place and then Daiki second place. You have to have.
Oh man, that's a lot. The pressure is on. All right, guys. That being said, it does look like that's going to be the entirety of our interview. If there's anything you guys would like to mention before we wrap up, feel free to do so now. If there's anything you want the viewers to check out or look into, definitely now while you have a chance. Flanster, anything?
I love you guys.
Okay, just words of love. Okay, what about you, Kiyanko?
Please refer to the thread for any of your basic rules before you ask us.
All right, and Captain Hampton.
I want to see those submissions come in. I know from personal experience, it's very easy to wait until the last minute. Almost preferable because you're so nervous about it. But if you just get it done, get it sent in. I will say if we get 100 submissions in the final hour of it, judging is going to take a little bit longer. So the earlier you get it, the better we can get some results out to you.
All right, and what about you, Hikai?
Well, the deadline is 8th of September for the first stage. Please stop and come by.
All right, and yes, as Hikai said, remember, September 8th is the deadline. Try to get your submissions in before that. Your submissions are best done over SoundCloud, or what was the other option, Flan?
Clip it.
Clip it.
CLYP.IT.
All right, and those are the two preferred methods. You can you still use pushes? Is that a thing?
We would prefer you don't, only if it's a last resort, absolute, because push doesn't like to load, and it's very annoying to have to save every entry.
Understandable.
But
All
for
right.
Clip It, you don't even need I don't think you even need an account to upload.
Well, that's good to know. All right, guys, so you have that. These were our lovely judges and co-hosts for the OS Idol tournament, contest that is going to be going on throughout. So it's September. Well, it started in August, September, October, November. Does it end?
It'll probably, depending on how it goes out, it could probably be around October and November.
All right, and that is the rest for this talk. And remember, guys, Rhythm is only a click away, and we hope to hear your lovely idol submissions soon.
Buy the coins.
See ya.
All of the coins.
Buy me my jet.